Good afternoon, friends. We are starting in 5 minutes. Let us wait for 5 more minutes. More and more participants are joining. Thank you. Hello, friends. Good afternoon. Let us start. While other people are joining, we are starting now because it's already 5 minutes late. So the certificate program name is ESG Fundamentals, and this program is being offered by ESG and Sustainability Think Tank. This is a 1 hour course, and at the end of the course, we will display one assessment of 10 questions, out of which you need to complete 5 questions correctly. You need to answer 5 questions correctly. After that, certificate will be awarded. And those questions are easy to intermediate level. They are not very complex because we are just discussing the ESG fundamentals. So we are starting now. The course name is ESG Fundamental. And before starting the course, I am discussing about ESG and Sustainability Think Tank, the institute from where you are getting your certificate and training. So ESG and Sustainability Think Tank is a platform for researcher, policymaker, educator, and consultants to share ideas, interact with each other, raise their voices, and share best practices related to environmental, social, and governance ESG aspects and sustainability related practices including SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. It is an initiative of Amulya Transformation Foundation, which is a registered non-profit in India under Section 8 of Companies Act 2013. The purpose of this think tank is education with focus on sustainability, Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and environmental, social, and governance, which is ESG, and driving solution for the investors, companies, and the communities. So we post best global knowledge on our channel, which is very beneficial for learners, ESG, and sustainability practitioners. We explore the latest trends, research, and strategies in environmental, social, and governance to help businesses, investors, and policymakers build a more sustainable future. Topics we cover are ESG strategies and best practices, sustainable investing and green finance, CSR, corporate social responsibility, climate change and net zero goals, ethical business and governance. So now we are starting the content of the course, which is Introduction to ESG. First is environmental. Second is social, third is governance. So within these three are factors of ESG. So full form of ESG is environmental, social, and governance, but these three are factors of ESG. Within environmental, we are discussing impact on natural resources, emission and climate change. Then within social, we are discussing human rights, diversity, labor standards, community impact. Then governance, corporate leadership, ethics, transparency, and compliance. So this is just a snapshot. We are discussing everything in big detail. Now, first factor of ESG is environmental. So what is covered in environmental? As we discussed in earlier slide, like natural resources, emission, and climate change. Let us discuss more. So within environmental factor, first and foremost is climate change. You must have heard everywhere about the climate change, why climate change is happening and what is the mitigation strategies for those. So enhance your understanding of climate science, impacts, and the mitigation strategies around climate change. So study of climate change is covered in environmental factor of ESG. Then circular economy. Learn how to close resources loops and minimize waste through design, production, and consumption. So this is circular economy. Then biodiversity conservation. Explore the importance of biodiversity and ways to protect ecosystem and species. So within environmental, first is climate change, then circular economy. Circular economy, you must have heard about those logo being made on various kind of product which says reduce, reuse, recycle. So it is called circular economy. Learn how to close resources loop and minimize waste through design, production, and consumption. Biodiversity conservation is also part of the environmental factor where we protect ecosystem and the species inside that ecosystem. Then renewable energy, also very important. Dive into different renewable energy sources and their potential for decarbonization. As you must have heard about the fossil fuel, which is traditional source of energy like coal, petrol, diesel, etc. So these are traditional sources of energy. And renewable sources of energy are solar, wind. Now electric vehicles are coming. Then sustainable agriculture. Understand the challenges and opportunities of sustainable farming practices. So within sustainable agriculture, best and sustainable farming practices are covered. Then water management. Learn about water conservation, how to save water, efficiency and responsible water use. Every drop is precious. So water management is also part of environmental factor of ESG. Then next is pollution control. Explore air, water, and soil pollution sources and effective control measures. After pollution, sustainable transportation, where investigate low carbon and efficient transportation options like electric vehicle and public transport. Then green buildings. Green building certifications are in the system for long time. Learn about designing, constructing, and operating buildings sustainably. Then next in environmental factor is responsible consumption. Understand the environmental impact of our choices and ways to consume consciously. Next is climate action advocacy. Develop skills to advocate for effective climate policies and action. Next is NBS, nature-based solutions. Explore how nature can contribute to solving environmental challenges. So these are 12 factors within the environmental factor. Let us discuss quickly again. Climate change, circular economy, biodiversity conservation, renewable energy, sustainable agriculture practices, then water management, pollution control, sustainable transportation, green building, responsible consumption, climate action advocacy, and nature-based solutions. Now we are moving to social factor of ESG. So within social, first is diversity, equity, and inclusion. You must have heard in various companies, corporate ecosystem nowadays that this company is very focused on DE&I. So what is that? That is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So creating a better and inclusive workplace at the companies. So understand the importance of DE&I in ESG and how to create an inclusive workplace. Then human rights. Learn about fundamental human rights and how businesses can respect and protect them. The next is community engagement. Develop skills to effectively engage with local communities and stakeholders. So this is community engagement, again, important part of social. Next is labor rights and working condition. What kind of working condition we are providing to workers and people working in the company? Understand the importance of fair labor practices and safe working condition within the company, within the factory. Then supply chain sustainability. Assess and manage the social and environmental risk within your supply chain. So while studying supply chain sustainability, we need to assess and manage the social and environmental risk within supply chain system. Then sustainable development goals, SDGs. Learn about the SDGs and how businesses can contribute to achieving them. Then next is social impact investing. Explore how to invest in companies and initiatives that address social and environmental challenges. The next is CSR, corporate social responsibility. Develop strategies for effective CSR initiatives that create positive social impact. So these are some factors covered in the social factor: diversity, equity, and inclusion, human rights, community engagement, labor rights and working conditions, supply chain sustainability, sustainable development goals, social impact investing, and CSR. Now we are moving to third and important factor within the ESG, which is governance. Governance, also called corporate governance. ESG reporting and disclosure is first important point of this factor. ESG reporting and disclosure. Learn about best practices for transparent and accurate ESG reporting. So whatever we have discussed till now, whether it is under environmental factor or social factor or governance factor, ultimately entire report is being reported in the annual report of any company and under governance, which means ESG reporting and disclosure is covered under governance factor of ESG. Then ESG integration into business strategy. Why we are studying ESG, why we are learning about ESG factors? Because ultimately we are integrating ESG into business strategy, business decision making. Understand how to integrate ESG consideration into your business strategy and decision making. Then corporate governance for sustainability. Explore good governance practices that promote sustainability within organizations. Then ESG leadership. Develop the skills and mindset to lead effectively on ESG issues is covered under ESG leadership. So now we are looking at the importance of ESG in the modern business world. Now we need to understand why ESG matters and what is its importance in the modern business world. So first and foremost importance of ESG is it enhances brand reputation and stakeholder trust. So when companies are reporting various factors around environmental, social and governance factors, then people see that company as a reputed company due to its disclosure, due to its following the sustainability best practices and environmental, social and governance disclosures. So due to brand reputation and stakeholder trust, uh, company mitigates regulatory and reputational risk. So when company is disclosing everything under regulatory disclosure requirement, company is mitigating its reputational risk, rather it is increasing its reputation. So they are not only mitigating and filling the minimum criteria of reporting and disclosure, they are enhancing their brand reputation and stakeholder trust due to ESG reporting. Then attract ESG focused investment. Also nowadays, investors are focusing more and more on the companies which are focusing on ESG issues, ESG disclosures. So this is called impact investment, where investors are investing in companies which are not only focusing on profit generation, but also focusing on the impact they are creating on the society at large due to their work or operations. Promote sustainable growth. So this is also one of the benefit of ESG, that apart from brand reputation, stakeholder trust, it mitigate regulatory and reputational risk and also attract ESG related investment and promote sustainable growth. The importance of ESG is growing, driven by increasing stakeholder expectation, regulatory changes, and the global focus on sustainability. By understanding ESG, you will gain insight into how companies create long-term value while addressing environmental and social challenges. Now we have understood the concept of ESG, environmental, social, and governance, but only understanding ESG without understanding sustainability in detail is not complete. So let us understand what is sustainability, because sustainability is a wider term, wider than the ESG. Understanding ESG without understanding the sustainability is not complete. We also need to study the topic sustainability, which is getting huge momentum. Since there is no planet B option available, we need to make this planet sustainable, because we have only one planet where we are living. We don't have planet 2 or planet B. So ultimately, we don't have any option but to make this planet sustainable. So now we are studying, learning about the sustainability. Sustainability means ability to sustain. Sustainability is meeting today's needs without compromising with ability of future generation to meet their needs. So sustainability is around resources consumption, use of resources. Okay. So if we are using resources, we should use resources in such a way that we are not only meeting our needs, rather we are keeping need of our future generation in mind, because they should also be able to meet their own future needs. So sustainability is meeting today's needs without compromising with ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Sustainability is a condition under which human and nature coexist or can exist in productive harmony to support present and future generation. So we are discussing such kind of sustainability where humans, we and the nature can coexist to support present and future generation. Apart from that, sustainability is a transition from standalone economy to integrated economy. So if we talk about sustainability, this is not a standalone concept or solo concept, rather it is completely integrated concept, integrated economy, or it is a um, complete ecosystem. It is not standalone thing, rather it is an ecosystem. Sustainability is a transition from the idea of conflicting with the nature to compatible with nature. So if we talk about sustainability, we humans are not in competition or not in conflict with nature. Rather, we are in compact. We are compatible with nature. So we should understand this that we are not conflicting with nature, rather we are compatible with nature. Then sustainability is a transition from a linear flow of resources to a circular flow of resources. As we discussed in earlier slides also, in the circular economy, reduce, reuse, recycle. So we are not a linear flow of information, rather we are a circular flow of information. Then we already discussed this point also. Sustainability is a transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy, renewable fuels, other sources, alternate sources of fuels. There is a risk of climate change if sustainability is ignored. Then sustainability is based on the principle that everything we need for our survival and well-being depends either directly or indirectly on our natural environment. Then sustainability is a transition from short-term thinking to long-term thinking. So if we talk about the sustainability concept, as name itself suggests sustainable, that means it is not a short-term thing, rather it is a long-term thinking. So I hope you must have got some idea about sustainability and the ESG, because sustainability is a wider concept within which ESG is one of the approach. Now you must have confused sustainability with CSR also, but CSR is not sustainability. Rather, sustainability is more than the CSR. CSR is corporate social responsibility, where some companies are spending money for their giving back to society objective. So sustainability is more than CSR. CSR pertain to what we do with profit, but sustainability pertains to how we make profit. So when we study about companies, CSR work or corporate social responsibility work in the company pertains to what we do with profit. That means we are spending some amount of profit on the society work, social work. We call it giving back to the society. But sustainability is different. Sustainability is how we make profit. What we do with profit versus how we make profits. We need to understand and agree that sustainability is not an upgrade of CSR, rather it is beyond CSR. That is thinking about how businesses should be run and how profits should be earned. So sustainability is how to make profit, how one should earn profit, how one should run the business. What are environmental and social impact of your action while running your business will be covered under sustainability. Now we are mapping the ESG with the sustainable development goals, and we will understand mapping of environmental, social and governance factor with the sustainable development goals. So if you have heard, there are 17 sustainable development goals, 1 to 17, and all these goals are mapped under each head of each factors of environmental, social and governance, ESG factors. So if you see environmental, there are these 8 SDGs covered: 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if you browse quickly, these all sustainable development goals are pertaining to environment, like clean water, then climate action, life underwater, life on land, like these all pertains to environment. If we see under social head, social factor, there are these 11 sustainable development goals mentioned. All these pertain to society or partnership, education, etc. If you see governance, there are these 8 sustainable development goals mentioned under governance. Again, they are related to inside company or equality or partnership, like that. So companies action, companies operation affect which all these sustainable development goals have been mentioned under the governance aspect. So alignment of ESG strategies with SDGs is important. So whatever we have discussed in this slide under the environmental, social and governance factors, why we are discussing this? Because alignment of ESG with SDG is very important. Whatever we have mentioned with reference to sustainability is derived from the sustainable development goals, and it is better to have a high level overview of these goals. So we are not discussing these sustainable development goals by United Nations in very detail because our training program, our course program is not in the SDGs because there are 17 SDGs and they are very long. So we are not studying those in detail. We are just listing those just to see the mapping of alignment of ESG strategies with the SDGs so that you can appreciate. We can have some other session on another day for the SDGs also because these are very important because they are covered under the sustainability aspect. So United Nations adopted in 2015 SDGs, also known as global goals. Sustainable development goals are also known as global goals. So there are 17 such goals, and within 17 goals, there are 169 targets to tackle the world's most pressing environmental, social, and governance or economical challenges after due deliberation and negotiations. And these are relevant for businesses and to be achieved by year 2030. So all these 17 sustainable development goals, which were adopted in 2015, have to be achieved by 2030. There are 169 targets and all targets have to be achieved. Now, primary call to action was to end poverty and to save the planet and achieving overall global harmony, peace and prosperity in the entire world by the year 2030. So what was the objective? To end poverty and to save the planet and achieving overall global harmony, peace and prosperity. So here is the list of all the 17 sustainable development goals, SDGs or global goals: no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, then clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, then industry, innovation and infrastructure, reducing inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institution. This is 16, and partnership for the goals, 17. So all these 17 sustainable development goals are mapped with the ESG, environmental, social, and governance, as you have seen in this slide. Now we are moving to another important topic, which is ESG trends and importance. So we have already seen the importance in the earlier slide. We are quickly discussing the trend also. So ESG has become more important because we are experiencing the true impact of climate change now with reference to extreme weather conditions like heat wave, drought, flood, etc. So you must have now heard or looking in the newspaper or the news media that climate change is happening in a big way, and there are various kind of climate change happening country wise. Somewhere it coming heat wave, somewhere drought, somewhere flood, like that. So governments and the various statutory bodies in different countries have made it mandatory to disclose all those climate change related things by companies in their annual report through ESG disclosures. So discussion in the boardroom with reference to ESG are increasing now. However, as of now, there are very few companies who are working on ESG to ensure that company is complying with the regulators' requirement. So if we talk, since we are in India, if we talk about Indian regulator, there is SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, and SEBI has mandated for listed companies, top listed companies, to disclose on the ESG parameters. As per the World Economic Forum, WEF, environmental issues, that is issues pertaining to climate change, covering climate action failure, extreme weather, natural and human-made environmental disasters, and biodiversity losses, water crisis, among others, have got more importance and significance in the last 1 decade. Now we are discussing some top global risk, again suggested by the World Economic Forum in the Global Risk Report. So which are these top global risks? These are related to environmental, geopolitical, social, technological, and economic. So within environmental, some top risks are related to biodiversity loss, climate action failure, extreme weather conditions, human-made environmental disasters, and natural disasters. If we talk about geopolitical risk in various countries, first is global governance failure, then interstate conflict, national governance failure, state collapse, terrorist attack, weapon of mass destruction. These are some of the top geopolitical risks which countries are facing today. Then social risk prevalent in various countries, failure of urban planning, food crisis, infectious disease, involuntary migration, social instability, and water crisis. Then technological risk are risks related to adverse technological advances, cyber attack, data fraud and data theft, information infrastructure breakdown, etc. Then economic risk are like asset bubble, critical infrastructure failure, deflation, energy price of financial failure, fiscal crisis, illicit trade, unemployment, and unmanageable inflation, high level of inflation. So these were the risks as suggested by World Economic Forum in their global risk report. Now, admit the participant. Sustainable product trends. Apart from companies and countries concerned about the reporting and ranking for sustainability, customers are also concerned about the planet and sustainability. So if you see nowadays, more and more companies are coming with the green product, sustainable product, and reusable, recycled product. And they mention that this product has been made with the recycled cloth like that or material. Customers are placing greater emphasis on sustainability and related products. So now customers and the market or the buyer is ready to pay more to buy those sustainable products, green products. There is a significant growth in the market for sustainable products, and consumers are becoming more educated about the environmental and social impact of the products they buy or consume. 65% of global respondents surveyed by Nielsen are willing to pay more for products from companies they are committed to sustainable business practices. So this is one example of a survey that more and more people are now interested to pay more for the product and services which they are buying, which are sustainable products or companies which are following these sustainable practices while making those products. Another survey conducted in 2021 reveals significant global paradigm shift in how consumers view sustainability and their increased willingness to pay for sustainable products. 85% of consumers have become greener in their purchasing in recent year, as per recent report by Business Wire. One third of 250 business executives surveyed by Accenture said that they could not keep up with consumers' demand for sustainable products. So this is the level of huge demand by consumers for various kind of products, which are green product, which are sustainable product. Companies must act accordingly as per these trends to avoid obsolescence soon. So if companies don't want to go out of business, then they have to keep up with the future trends, which is sustainable product trend. Now you must have heard about, along with ESG, sustainability, CSR, which we have discussed, you must have also heard about the impact investing. So what is impact investing? Impact investing refers to investment made into any company with the objective to generate a measurable positive impact on environment or society while getting a financial return. So what is the objective of investor who put money in the company? Their objective is to generate financial return, no doubt, but along with measurable positive impact on society and the environment. So two things are there. One is generating the financial return, but while being positive for the impact on society and environment. So they are not only looking for financial return, huge returns now, but they are balancing between the impact and return. So when balancing impact and return, we are calling it impact investing. Impact investing and ESG are not same because where ESG is set of criteria or factor, impact investing is a strategy which not necessarily may be focused on financial gain. Rather, there may be more focus on positive environmental and social impact. So again, we are repeating same thing that ESG and impact investing is not same. Rather, ESG is set of factors, set of criteria for reporting, but impact investing relates more to the decision making of investment. And which kind of investment? That they need return on investment, but while having a positive impact on society and environment. Now we are studying one report by Ernst& Young, EY, where investors are focusing more on ESG issues, ESG risk. As per that report, 80% of investors surveyed agreed that businesses should focus more on long-term value creation rather than short-term dividend payout. So nowadays, whoso have invested in any company, they will get return and they will get return in the form of payout, in the form of dividend. But investors are saying that let us focus more on long-term value creation and not only focus on the short-term dividend checks. Be open and transparent about growth plan and focus on environmental, social and governance factor because they have real and quantifiable financial impact, but in the long term. Questions asked in the survey, the result of which was yes, positive by 80% of the people. Over the long term, ESG issues ranging from climate change to diversity to board effectiveness have real and quantifiable impact. Generating sustainable return over time requires a sharper focus not only on governance but also on environmental and social factor also. Environmental and social issues offer both risk and opportunities, but for too long, companies have not considered them core to their businesses. Public company CEOs should lay out an explicit strategy each year for long-term value creation and directly affirm that company's board has reviewed it. So these are survey, or we can say we have already discussed those things in the earlier slides. Now we are discussing about the opportunities for ESG and investment, ESG and sustainability professionals. So why everyone is studying nowadays ESG and sustainability? Because there is huge demand of those professionals. Supply and demand, there is huge gap. So investment professional apply ESG factors and sustainability related knowledge in their decision making while studying any company before making any investment. So what we read here that while making any kind of investment in any company, investment professional study not only about the company balance sheet, but they also study about the ESG factors being applied, being followed in the company. So they study ESG factor, they study sustainability related factors while making their decision whether to invest in this company or not. And when they study, that means they have knowledge. But people with this knowledge set are lesser in the industry. However, doing this is not easy and there is a big gap of skills because these professionals need specific skills and mindset to make investment decisions based on ESG strategies and practices. ESG practices are continuously becoming more and more useful and relevant for investment professionals and investors who apply ESG knowledge and skill in their day-to-day decision making and other investment rules. So here in this slide, we discussed that more and more investors are now looking in the company from the perspective of ESG and sustainability factors before investing their money in the company. But to do this level of analysis of ESG factor and sustainability related aspect, the investment professionals need specific skills, and there is the huge gap of that skills versus the need. So upskilling is necessary for these professionals so that skill gap can be filled. Expectation of the firms which employ these investment professionals and analysts are increasing day by day due to increase of expectation of various stakeholders looking after the domain of impact investment. These professionals can then apply integrate ESG factor into their investment decision or investment process. Apart from investors and investment professionals, ESG issues and factors are also suitable to learn for people working in the domain of risk and financial consulting. So ESG knowledge, sustainability related aspect knowledge is not only for the investment professional, but also relevant for the risk professional, people who are working in the financial consulting domain or sales and distribution or wealth management or product development or anyone who want to improve his or her understanding about this subject. Since this is an entirely new field of study, there is no need to hesitate to ask from your colleague in industry or check with the industry expert about the ESG and sustainability related knowledge. Now we are discussing, since we have to proceed for the quiz also before wrapping up. ESG, one another important emerging area for the professionals in ESG and sustainability is ESG rating provider. Now companies have to go for various kind of ESG ratings globally, and there are 600 plus ESG ratings globally available. Some of them are MSCI ESG rating, Sustainalytics ESG rating, then CDP, Carbon Disclosure Project, CDP, Climate Change 2020 scoring methodology, then S&P, Standard and Poor, Global ESG score, then FTSE Russell ESG rating. Like that, there are so many ESG rating providers. So we are not discussing those rating providers. And ESG and Sustainability Think Tank, your institute which is sponsoring this course, is having 8,000 plus strong community members globally located on LinkedIn community. If you want to follow, you can follow these LinkedIn pages. Now I am asking my team member to post the link of assessment. Thank you. Thank you for the day. Now I am asking my team member to post a link of assessment which should be completed before leaving this training program. My team member is posting link to the assessment which should be completed in next 10 minutes in the chat box. So here is the link of Google form which you should click and quickly you can answer for 10 questions. Meanwhile, I'll ask my team members to post links of LinkedIn pages. So we have already shared link for the assessment which should be completed in next 10 minutes. And also my team member has shared some social media links which you can follow for further future upcoming trainings program. And all of our training program will be on separate topics and separate certificates will be provided. And before leaving, I will request everyone to fill the feedback survey also. This is a very, very short feedback survey. Only 2 questions are there, which will help me to improve, which will help sustainability think tank to improve for the future programs. So whatever is your feedback, kindly fill in this feedback survey. And after completing the feedback form as well as the assessment, you can follow these social media channels for further updates. And my team will share certificate as soon as possible, which you can share on the LinkedIn as well. Those who have joined late and want to cover their content which they have missed, I will ask my team member to share the link of same training program which we will conduct once again in another time horizon, because many people sent emails saying that this time is not suitable for them due to office hours in India and sleeping hours in other countries. So I will ask my team to schedule similar or same training program like 8 p.m. Indian time in 1 to 2 days time. So you can cover there. But if you are eligible, if you can answer, better that you get the certificate by answering assessment if you can pass the exam. Basis the knowledge which you have gained today. And those who are completing feedback as well as assessment, they can leave. And I would like to express my thanks to everyone who have joined. We will keep on coming with more and more such programs in future. We had same training yesterday also, and yesterday there were more participants, but today due to office hour, not many participants are there. So thanks everyone. Thank you. You can complete your survey and feedback and the assessment and follow the social media handles for future update. Thank you very much. Thank you.